you shout oh yeah yeah. Mayegun don't come oh yeah yeah. Mayegun the command of the masses. Oh yeah yeah. Mayegun don't come oh yeah yeah. Mayegun the political. Oh yeah yeah. Mayegun don't come oh yeah yeah. This one not day of in mind. Oh yeah yeah. Mayegun don't come oh yeah yeah. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh. Oh yeah yeah, Mayegun don't come. Oh yeah yeah. My people make you shout. Oh yeah yeah. Mayegun làwọn mọ̀.
Hello there.
Ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you and good evening to you from wherever you are joining me from. It is Mayegun Live. Know that the background sound can be a little bit annoying when it keeps going high, low, but help me manage them, at least for now. Take that moment to read the caption of this broadcast, the description, all right? Share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends and tell them that Mayegun is live. Mayegun today.
Ani esuraki. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú esuraki. Ani esuraki. Lórí Facebook.
Those are the early birds.
Ani esuraki.
Chrissy is here.
Lórí YouTube. Ani
is here. Let's read the caption once again if you haven't. Share it if you have not shared this broadcast. Invite your friends and invite your not so friendly friends. I mean, your frenemies. Nigerians would have to pay more for darkness. But the con artists, the con men said, no, it's only for band A, Abina A band. All of you enjoying 20 hours electricity are the only people affected. Is that true? Mrs. Balogun is here. She's also an early bird, right? Want to sign a student loan again? Now, you won't have to worry about the background sound anymore. So let's get to it. Good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you and good evening to you from wherever you are joining me from. It is Mayegun Live. Yeah. And thank you so much for joining me. And thanks also for sharing this. All right. The news out there, we can call it breaking news. Okay. The first one is sweet sour one, right? And that is the Nigerian electricity sort of board. They have come out today to inform the electricity consumers, Nigerians, that the consumption or the affordability of power in Nigeria by the government. In fact, let me say it the way they said it, okay? So what they actually said is that Nigeria government can no longer put the subsidy on electricity. They're practically saying, listen, if the price of electricity continues at 66 naira per kilowatt, it will continue to put pressure on the public finances. That means it's going to put pressure on government finances. So because of this, the price has to go up by 300%. A lot of you are trying to figure out, what does this even mean? Well, so those of you who have been living in APC, Egbekegbes Nigeria, whether you are the type that lives in denial, you live in denial, or you are the type that is living with their usual coping mechanism, somehow, this is that time that whatever you have told yourself as achievement of these rogues on every stage, at every stage in Nigeria, this is the time you have to be honest with yourself, okay? National grid of Nigeria collapses like a person with they suffer epilepsy, and that is why it is now called epileptic power supply in Nigeria. You know, epilepsy na warapa in Yoruba. I do not know what you probably call epilepsy in your own language, but we call it warapa, and it is not a good thing, okay? So Nigeria epileptic power supply, which earned the former minister, and that is the Saleko Barack Obama Ashola, the minister of darkness in Nigeria, is the fact that the electricity collapses like every now and then. Like before you take your breath, it's gone. Before you take another breath, it's gone. That's how the electricity works in Nigeria. But there are places where the electricity is more available. All right. So they now said, okay, the what do you call it? If you have no idea what this means to you, here is what it means, okay? If you have been enjoying electricity, if truly you are enjoying electricity for 20 hours a day, even if not twice, then give you a month, it doesn't matter, 20 hours, your electricity bill will increase by 300%. Let's assume that in your entire, maybe your flat, what you are paying, what you used to pay is 50,000 naira. Somebody did the math, okay? They said if you are paying 50,000 naira, with this change now, your new bill will begin from maybe 190 or 187,000 naira. So then you can figure it out. You know what you pay, right? As electricity bill, you know how many hours they give you, okay? Even when they give you 0 hours, it's 0 hour electricity, people still have to pay. They still bring their bills. I mean, under Bukwari, I remember when they used to campaign that there will no longer be estimated billing. Then Tifnumbu came and he said there will no longer be estimated billing, which means they will give them meters. So the meter can actually read what people use, right? But corruption in Nigeria has made that impossible. Okay, like it is impossible for the electricity, distribution companies in Nigeria to give meters to their customers, so that even if they give you 24 hours electricity only once in a month, you pay for 24 hours. Abi, how many kilowatts is that in a day? Whatever, right? But in Nigeria, it simply means that just do the calculation yourself and brace yourself up for whatever it is going to take out of your family income or your personal income. You need to factor it in, like you factored other things in when the subsidy is gone. It was raining, right? So also, Tifnumbu's government signed again. They have signed the student loan bill to law, but they call it amended bill. So it simply means that Tifnumbu call, he listened to all of your complaints. I mean, that's what amended should mean, Abi. Because before now, if you want to access the student loan as proposed by Kolu and Bajabia Mole, the scam called student loan, all right? They made it more like it is easier to become Nigeria president. Like, now you could be dubious, you don't, like Tifnumbu now, okay? So it's easier to become Nigeria president than for you to actually access the student loan. For some of you who remember that, so you will think, okay, maybe they've made some adjustment. Nah, they didn't. But what they have managed to do to further hoodwink their usual, what do you call them again? Their usual mugus that would always say, let's just give them, let's see what they will do and all of that. But they will read it in black and white. That how practicable is this? Where they followed up their current one with supposedly like amended, okay? I have questions and I will keep pointing them out, and you possibly could see more out of this, okay? So according to the new one, the Nation newspaper, Tifnumbu's newspapers, pointed out what he called 12 important, I think they have a title for it. They call it 12 things that you should know about student loan scheme. But they removed or omitted the most important part, and I will tell you. However, here are the 12 points you have to know about the student loan to those of you who want to apply, okay? So they said that Nigeria student loan is interest-free. That has always been there, okay? So they didn't change anything in that. Second one, they said the sum is static with a range of repayment options that are tied to a borrower's income. So what that means is that the money you borrow for your student loan, okay, there will be no interest on it, all right? And also, it will be tied, what they will be taking from you when you finally get a job. Okay, let me continue. I'll come back to that. So they said the beneficiaries will get a 2-year grace period after completing the 1-year national youth service before they are expected to commence repayment of the loan. That's very straightforward, Abi. They will give you 2 years after graduation, okay, before you will start payment of the loan. No, sorry, yeah, 2 years after, grace period after completing your NYSC, all right? After graduation, then 1 year, then 2. So that's like 3 years after graduation before you begin to pay the money back. Number 4, say the beneficiary begins repayment only when he or she has started earning income. This is not about you finding a job. You may start a business after. Sure, you get. The moment you begin to earn any income, whatever you are doing, any income, you would have to start paying the loan. All these ones are still like, okay, yeah, that's not bad. Okay. Then the 5th one, they said the baseline repayment amount is 10% of the monthly net pay of the beneficiary in the case of an employee, or 10% of monthly income or profit of the beneficiary in case of self-employed. Straightforward too, Abi. For example, now, whatever you are going to be repaying back as your student loan will not be more than 10% of your net pay every month, your salary, okay? Then the 6th one that you should pay attention to is that there is also an option of a one-off repayment or an opportunity to indicate the particular percentage model you want for those in private business. Here is another one there that is also straightforward, okay? You can decide to pay everything off once, or you can decide to say, okay, now I want this percentage. I don't want to pay 10%. I want to pay this percentage more. You can decide that. Still straightforward, have you? Beneficiaries who cannot find employment within the grace period of 2 years will have to periodically report their employment status to the student loan board. Okay, so there's going to be a student loan board, right? And I'll get to that one. But if you can't find job or you can't do any business after 2 years that you have left NYSC, you would have to go and start reporting yourself every, periodically. It may be every 3 months, it may be every 6 months, okay, to show that you are not any money and you have no job. Also, this is the 8th one. The beneficiaries of the student loan confirmed to be dead, terminally ill, and incapable of earning a living through work will be granted waiver. So you can claim disability and they can cancel your student loan. Okay? If you have physical disability, mental disability, any kind of disability that you can prove, then they can waiver your loan. Number 9, I know even to get patience. Everybody done the type lori raw. I said, pay attention. There are people who believe that, okay, this looks legit, but other things they are hiding from you. Do you want me to tell you that first, or I should tell you the good one they are putting out there so that it won't be like, hey, what about the good one? What about the good part of the? I said, that's why I'm starting with the good one, which is public, and the one they are hiding, which is not public or intentionally not made highlight. Okay, so here said the sources of funding. Here is the most critical part of the fraud, of the scam, that it's already pretty much like obvious before it even goes anywhere. And here is where Tifnumbu and his gang will say, he wanted to give you student loan, but now some people no make them work. Here is that one, right? Marry them out. They said the sources of funding as dictated by the act include 1% of all profits accruing to the federal government from oil and minerals, 1% taxes, levies, and duties accruing to the federal government from the Federal Inland Revenue, FIRS, Nigeria Immigration Service, the Nigerian Customs Service, the education bonds, and education endowment fund schemas. Now you see all these things we they put together. That is the Monica. Yeah, that is the giveaway of the whole fraud. You see, in Nigeria, it is a country where the only reason why Nigeria is existing is because there is money to share at the end of the month. Sure, you understand now? And that sharing from every part of Nigeria, all of them, now percentage sharing. You see all this money, all this revenue generating agencies of governments that Tifnumbu and his gang put under their funding for student loan, will require they will require all of the state governors, including PDP, all of them to now agree and say, that money you said you want to take 1%. If you are not lying to people, we hope it's not our money. We hope it's your own share of that monthly allocation, because all this one you are telling everybody that you are going to remove 1% from oil money, 1% from this other agencies' money. The money that everybody just collect everything from everywhere they can get, put them in a jar, and they share them like bunch. So if you say you are going to remove 1% to fund this your student loan, Mr. Tifnumbu, we hope it's your own share of that allocation. Please tell everybody. Because one, Tifnumbu is telling them that the idea of student loan by the Agenje, RNG, Bajabia Mole, and the National Assembly under him, and then under Akpabiole. Now, the old juju lie behind it, quick cash stuff, right, is done in a way that they were now lying to people that the student loan is not for federal students alone. Because in Nigeria, you have federal schools, you have state schools. To them, if you want to fund the federal school, great. You will spend your own money, your own share. In Nigeria, they have 3 tiers of government. The first one, the 3, what do they call those ones again? Yeah, is that tiers? Oh yeah, 3 tiers. That's right. They have all these funny things to use to describe themselves. So the tiers are the federal, the state, and the local. The arms of government. Those ones are like the executive, the judiciary, the legislature. I've been now. I haven't forgotten my government overview. Anyway. So in that tier of arrangement, that is why Nigeria is a place where they rob Peter to pay Paul. And it is through allocation. All right. So the fight for everything in Nigeria is about the money and the allocation. If you see people, they kill themselves to be governor of Zamfara, it's not because they want to come and lift the people of Zamfara out of poverty or put them to safety. It is because of the allocation of Zamfara. If people, they shoot themselves, the reason why with the wicked, they run mad is because of the allocation of a river state. Here you understand. The reason why Sonweku Adegeto, Governor Pointan Kili, is acting as nanny to Paulu is because of Lagos allocation. And when you see them arming people, killing themselves, that they want to take power, they want to be in power. Now they are in power, their people are worse off. It's not because of their people, it's because of the allocation. Allocation, monthly allocation. And that was the monthly allocation that Tinubu now decided that the federal government takes 55% of all money that comes into that cookie jar as the big brother. All right? It is the one that will tell all of them how much money is available to share. If the big brother says, now only 2 trillion a day, now only 1 trillion a day to share, they can murmur, they can complain, they just have to come around and come and take their 45%. Because the big brother will take his own 55%. And that is the federal government. Here you get. The state was supposed to take, 25. Local government, 20. But the way Nigeria is like, the local government money, the state money, everything ended up in the piggy bank of the state governor. He is now the one that will now kind of share the wealth among themselves, those in charge of that money. So if Tinubu is promising to take 1% out, they will need to go and amend, not this this Genje student nonsense bill. They would have to go and amend their, what do you call that thing again? A federal allocation or whatever formula. They would have to go and change that law that says now, because you know something, in Nigeria, there is something called the education tax. Every business in Nigeria, operating in Nigeria, is expected to pay that 2% from their profit before tax, not even profit after tax. So before they declare their tax or remove tax money, everything, they have to take 2% out and pay it to government. That money is meant to be shared. Like I said, you rob Peter to pay Paul, it's all about it, okay? So once that money enters that cookie jar, they share the money to all the states to go and use it to fund education. But they never did. It's there is law. They are taking the money from all those guys in Nigeria. So that one is not money that somebody can say, like, if you want to create another fund that you want to tax that way, all right, you will not touch the money from oil, the money from taxes. You would only touch the one that is your share. And that is where the lie is. And that is what they are going to tell you why their student loan did not work. Because some people did not want it to work. Some people make sure that it did not work in their state. Because when Tinubu wanted something to use to deceive Una, after saying he removed subsidy gone, It says student loan, but there was no plan. There was no actually anything like that. Like no plan, no RNG for it. It's just something they had to say at the time. And here are this is number 9. I have other 3. So yeah, they will take the money from the FIRS, Federal Inland Revenue Service. They will take money from the Nigerian Immigration Service. They will take money from the Nigerian Customs Service. You can't take money from them. Or maybe you can. Like UNICEF don't sound like Nigeria is not a lawless place. Okay, maybe you can. But if he can, is he going to take it for you? Can he break the law for you? No, he can't.